Ever get the feeling we're a little obsessed with development these days? Like, it's all about shiny new buildings and bigger numbers on a balance sheet.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in those traditional economic indicators.
Hmm.
But today we're diving into someone who challenged that very idea, the brilliant Amartya Sen.
Right. He basically flipped the script on how we understand development. Instead of just focusing on economic growth, he wanted us to think about something much bigger.
Exactly. For Sen, it all boiled down to freedom.
Freedom. Okay, so not just building stuff, but building opportunities.
Precisely. Sen argued that real development is about expanding the choices and possibilities that people have in their lives.
So let's unpack that. When we talk about Amartya Sen, we're talking about a giant in economics, right? Nobel Prize winner, the whole deal. But his work went way beyond just like crunching numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. Before Sen came along, a lot of people saw development as this kind of linear, almost mechanical process.
Like step one, get more factories. Step two, watch the GDP go up. Step three, everyone gets a pony, right?
Huh. Well, maybe not a pony, but you get the idea. It was very much focused on material progress. More stuff equals more developed.
Which, on the surface, I guess makes a certain kind of sense.
Yeah, it's easy to measure, right? You can count factories and dollars and all that. But Sen argued that this approach was missing something truly fundamental.
The human element. Like,
Yeah,
what good is all that progress if it's not actually making people's lives better?
exactly. And that's where development as freedom comes in. Sen said that true development isn't just about economic growth, but about expanding the real freedoms that people have.
Okay, I like where this is going. So how did he define freedom in this context?
To Sen, freedom wasn't some abstract ideal. It was about what people were actually able to do and to be in their lives. He called these capabilities.
Capabilities, okay, so like skills.
Skills are a part of it, but it's broader than that. It's about having access to things like education, healthcare, being able to participate in your community and in politics.
So having a voice.
Yes. Having a voice, having choices. Sen believed that these capabilities were what truly empowered individuals to live fulfilling lives.
It's almost like even if you gave two people the same amount of money, their ability to use that money to build a good life could be totally different.
That's a great way to put it. Let's say one person has access to good health care. They get sick, they can get treated, they can keep working, they can pursue their goals.
Right, but someone without that same access, they might be stuck.
Exactly. Their choices are limited, their opportunities shrink, even if they have the same amount of money in their pocket. So it's not just about having resources, it's about what you can actually do with those resources.
What you can actually achieve. It's about potential. I like it.
And this is where another key part of sense thinking comes in, the idea of unfreedoms.
Unfreedoms. Okay, so now we're talking about the things that hold people back.
Exactly. Unfreedoms are the barriers that prevent people from developing their full capabilities and living the lives they choose.
Give us some examples. What kinds of things are we talking about here?
Think about things like poverty, discrimination, lack of access to education or healthcare, repressive political systems.
Yeah, those are some heavy hitters.
These are all factors that can severely limit people's choices and opportunities, even in countries with high levels of economic growth.
Okay, so how do you actually measure something like freedom? It seems kind of intangible.
Right. It's not as simple as measuring GDP, but Sen argued that it is as possible to measure freedoms and unfreedoms, and he actually helped to develop tools to do just that. One of the most well-known is the Human Development Index, or HDI.
HDI, I've heard of that. It's that ranking that looks at more than just money, right?
Exactly. While GDP only measures economic output, the HDI takes into account things like life expectancy, education levels, and standard of living.
So it's a more well-rounded picture of how people are actually doing in a given country.
Right. And it's no coincidence that the HDI was created in the spirit of Sen's work. It's a direct reflection of his belief that development should be measured by how well people are actually living, not just by how much money the country is making.
Which I think is such a powerful idea. It forces us to ask some hard questions about what really matters when it comes to progress.
And Sen's ideas didn't just stay on the page, they actually had a real impact on development policy around the world.
Oh yeah? How so?
For example, his emphasis on education as a key capability helped to drive a global push for increased access to education, especially for girls.
That's amazing. So his work had a tangible impact on people's lives.
It did, and it continues to do so. Amartya Sen's legacy is a call to action. It's a reminder that true development is about creating a world where everyone, no matter their background, has the opportunity to live a life they value.
To be free to reach their full potential. I like that. So what do we take away from all of this? What can we actually do with this information?
Well, I think the first step is simply being aware of the unfreedoms that exist all around us. The poverty, the discrimination, the lack of opportunity, these are real issues that affect real people.
And they often go unnoticed, or at least unaddressed.
Exactly. So let's challenge ourselves to see those unfreedoms, to understand their root causes, and to find ways, however small, to contribute to a world where everyone has the chance to thrive.
To live a life full of choice and possibility, I think that's a pretty good goal to strive for.